Hello, guys. Back again with another YouTube podcast. This time, I'm joined with a good friend of mine, Humza, a big Arsenal fan. Goes to a lot of games, home and away. But he's even travelled to PSG to watch Arsenal last year. He just loves Arsenal. Great guy. And you're gonna get on this in this podcast. You're gonna get his views on all things related to Arsenal and the Premier League season, which is coming up in a few days' time. So, Humza, you went to the game yesterday at Wembley between Arsenal and Chelsea. What did you make of the performance from the team?
Well, when I saw the lineup, I was a bit worried to be honest. But to be honest, if Wenger put Sanchez and Özil out and they got injured, then everybody would be on Wenger's back. So to be honest with you, Friday was more important than Sunday. Community Shield, it's not a great trophy, is it? It's just more of a confidence booster. To be fair with you. I don't know why Koscielny never played, and he wasn't even on the bench. And when Mertesacker went off, we were playing with two left backs at centre back, so that was worrying itself. But all in all, everybody played really well. Elneny put a shift in yesterday. I've got to say, I normally describe him as a headless chicken at an away game, but yesterday he proved me wrong, and he played absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he really had a great game yesterday, filling in for Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey's taken that position for the past few weeks, but there's some rumours going about that he's got a little injury, so maybe we'll see Elneny there against Leicester on Friday. But
Well,
what did you make of our new signing Kolasinac and the way he performed after he came off the bench?
Well, talking about the Ramsey point, I really hope he's back for Friday because at one point last season his confidence was so low. He wasn't playing really great, but as soon as we changed formation with the wing backs, we give him the freedom to move forward. And I think if you play him in the right position, he will do really well. Um, Kolasinac, and that guy is like Hulk. He's absolutely fantastic. He reminds me a bit of myself when I play. Um, I think on a free, you can't really complain. To be honest, I would have paid money to buy someone of his caliber. How he's played so far, really impressed. I don't think we could have asked for better in that position because I think Kieran Gibbs needs to go now. Debuchy needs to go. And you know me, I'm not a big fan of Walcott. Walcott, Walcott can't even finish his cereal, never mind finish a shot. you know, uh, yeah. And signings wise, I still think we need a solid defense centre back. I've just seen today Van Dijk's put in a transfer request. Apparently, we need to break the bank for someone like him.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Van Dijk's put in a transfer request today, but most likely the rumours are he'll be going towards Liverpool. That's where most people are thinking that he'll be heading off.
that's where
Even
we sway him because if we offer him more money, and obviously the London life, he should be actually playing for Arsenal next season. He
yeah,
should be playing for Arsenal next season, hopefully. You
we
know,
there's been a lot of debate about the big money spending that Wenger actually made for us this year in Alexander Lacazette. We bought him for 50 million pounds, and there
nowadays,
was a lot of debate at the time saying that would he be good enough? Is he an upgrade on Olivier Giroud, or is he on the same level? For me personally, he'll be an upgrade due to the pace that he's had. We've always been crying out for a striker with pace over the years, and his uh, goal scoring record in the French league proved it. Although that's not the Prem, we can see that. Give him a bit of time, and you can't judge him straight away. I reckon it'll be really good for us. What have you made of his few pre-season games and his first half appearance in the Community Shield yesterday?
I was watching him closely yesterday actually because obviously it's the first time I've seen him play. I've not been pre-season or anything like that. Emirates Cup, he, Emirates Cup, you can't really get a good feel about how somebody will play. Um, I was watching him closely, and some of the runs he was making. As soon as Czech gives the ball out, Czech, he always passes it. As soon as he gives it to Holding or Monreal or whoever it was, you could see Lacazette itching. And as soon as he gets to that centre midfield, Xhaka and El Neni, that's it. He was making that run, but nobody was seeing or judging where he's gonna go. So I was thinking to myself, if Özil and Sanchez were playing there, I think it's a different ball game. And in this day and age, 50 million will get you Sigurdsson normally. So what would you rather have, Sigurdsson or Lacazette? You know?
Yeah, that's true. The market's very inflated nowadays. But the fact that we managed to beat Chelsea yesterday, even though the performance in the first half was pretty good, but then we just were really sloppy at the start of the second half and we conceded the goal. But yeah, with players like Özil and Sanchez, and if Wenger um, persists to keep Lacazette up front and doesn't keep on chopping and changing between Giroud just because he has to give him some game time, I reckon Lacazette could be a real force for us this season. And personally, I reckon he's going to get 25 goals plus if he stays fit, injury free, and if Wenger plays him consistently. So then moving on to our game on Friday against Leicester, what would be your ideal starting 11, and what prediction would you get? What prediction are you giving for the game, and like who do you think is going to be the main man in the game?
Well, obviously, as I said before, we need to sign a centre back as soon as possible because if Mertesacker is not back for Friday, I don't think in the Premiership we can play two left backs in that formation. So either Wenger will have to change the formation, or if
Hmm.
he's playing three at the back, obviously he can't sign a defender in a week. Well, he can, but you know what Wenger's like. Um, I think Czech will start. The back three will be Holding, Mertesacker. I don't know what's happened to Mustafi actually. Is he injured or was he just rested? The wing backs, Bellerin. To be honest, I'd play Bellerin. I would even play Bellerin on Friday actually. He was poor in the Community Shield. I'd play Oxlade Chamberlain on that right side because Chelsea knew
Hmm.
every time Oxlade Chamberlain was attacking, he was dangerous, even though he was on the wrong side. And
Yeah.
he'd always have to cut in to get that cross in. Whereas if he's playing on that right hand side, I think it'll suit Lacazette because Lacazette is a fox in the box, you know.
Hmm.
And if you've got Özil and Sanchez on each side, you can't really complain. Um, Going back to transfers, who would you want to sign for Arsenal and why?
Um, Looking on the transfer front, I'd say right now, even though the players, if we were to sign someone, we wouldn't get him in time for the Leicester game. But after that, we know we have two huge games in Stoke and Liverpool away, which will be really tough games as they usually are. We don't have a great record at the Britannia Stadium, and at Anfield it's always a tough game. But yeah, going back to your question on the signings, I'd like to see a proper, like you said, a proper centre defensive, not centre defensive mid, a centre midfielder who can go box to box. I've seen a bit of Seri from Nice, but I've not seen much of him to be honest. He looks a good box to box player, but from looking at him on YouTube, you can't really judge someone by looking at them there. But I think we will be light in midfield if we don't get a centre midfielder, and I don't think we'd have to go with Ramsey, Xhaka, and El Neni for the whole season. It'd be good to see a new signing, especially if we were to land Thomas Lemar from Monaco, which I reckon will be a really good signing for us because he's got everything that we need in that midfield. But yeah, we have to be wary going into the game against Leicester on Friday. We know what threat they possess in the count. They'll most likely sit 10 men behind the ball. They'll play counter attack, Mahrez and Vardy. So hopefully we'll be ready for that. And as you know, our opening fixtures of the past three previous seasons have been shocking. We lost to Aston Villa 3-1 a few seasons back. Then we lost to West Ham 2-0. So it's like a hoodoo for us that we can't get over this first game. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But
You
if I
know,
was to ask you,
you know
go on
what's
then.
gonna happen, don't you? If we end
But
up losing, Wenger's gonna come out with the excuse, "Oh, we weren't ready. We weren't ready." That's all he comes out with every single season. It's the same thing. And if we don't win that game on Friday against Leicester, you know how tough Stoke and Liverpool away is. That's
yeah,
the first three games gone. That's it. Title could be done by end of September, mate.
yeah, that's what they say. You can't win the title in the first few last few seasons. We always get off to a bad start, and then we're always playing catch up.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
it's for your. Well, now I'm going to ask you for your season's predictions. And firstly, I'm going to ask you for your relegation teams. The three teams that have come up are Brighton, Newcastle, and Huddersfield.
Before we start
Um,
on,
who would you say? Who would you say is going to get relegated for you this season?
the prediction front, one more thing on the transfer front. Who would you say has been the best signing of the summer? And you think United are going to be a force this year?
That's a really good question. That best signing of the summer, I would have to say, even though as much as I'd like to say Lacazette, because I'm obviously because we're Arsenal fans, but I reckon it's going to be Bernardo Silva.
Really?
I reckon Bernardo Silva is like he's going to fill in for what David Silva did for 2-3 years. He's that very similar type of player, centre midfielder, left-footed. Looked really good for Monaco, and I'm not surprised that he was taken up. But I reckon it'll be Bernardo Silva who will get a lot of assists this season. But yeah, I'd like to see Lacazette get 25 plus goals. And your other question on do you reckon United will be a force? I reckon they will. They'll start not very well, I reckon, but I reckon they'll fade away towards the end. And if any prediction for me, I'd say they're going to finish fourth or fifth.
Wow. To be honest, I think Mourinho has done really well this summer. I'll be honest with you. Even though you know how much I hate Mourinho and how much we chant his name when we go to them away grounds, I think he's done well in getting his spine. You know,
Yeah,
got De Gea, got Bailly, and they've got
Lindelof
Lindelof as well. They've got
and Lukaku.
They've got Pogba in the centre attacking mid as well, and then they've got Lukaku. But
Yeah,
the thing is,
that, that
will Pogba carry on like the dabbing Yusuf Mulumbu, and will Lukaku turn into the Victor Anichebe of the Premier League this season?
I'd love for that to be true. I'd love to see Lukaku be a massive flop, but the only problem is he's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League, and we've seen at Everton
Definitely.
he banged in so many goals, and it's only going to get better for him at United. That's if Mourinho doesn't play him at left back. But yeah, it'll be an interesting season, I reckon. But yeah, going back to the other question, give me your three teams that you reckon will go down this season.
You know how much I hate Burnley, obviously. So I think Burnley are going to be gone this year. In no particular order, by the way. I don't think Brighton are going to survive, if I'm honest with you. And I think this is the end of Swansea. They've been hanging on by the skin of their teeth, haven't they? Every season, they're just about. Even Sunderland, they used to do the same, and finally they've gone down to where they should be, really. And top four. You want top four as well?
Yeah, top four.
If I'm being honest with you, I don't think Arsenal can win the league this season. I hope they prove me wrong. I really hope they prove me wrong. But I don't think unless we sign a centre mid and a centre back, then we can get a title bid. But at this point in time, I don't think we can. I think Man City have literally bought the Premier League trophy, but it's just not arrived at their ground for a while. So I think City are going to win the league this year. I think second and third will be United and Arsenal, but I don't know which order. It depends who we sign. That's the thing. It could if we sign Thomas Lemar or Van Dijk or Seri or something, that gives us a bit more hope. Fourth position, I think Chelsea, definitely. Well, put it this way: the top four will be Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, and United. I think. I don't know.
Do you know
I don't know what.
where do you see Tottenham finishing?
I think they're going to go down to League One. No, because obviously Anthony Joshua's won more times than them at Wembley, hasn't he? So, and we've just lifted another trophy at Spurs ground. So the only thing Spurs will be doing is planting potatoes because they'll have something to lift at the end of the season. Realistically, I think they'll finish sixth. I don't think they'll have a season like last year. And I think Liverpool will come in fifth. That's my top six, I think. But I think I know what your predictions are. But if Alexis Sanchez leaves on deadline day and we can't sign anyone else, what's going to happen then?
To be honest, after what's happened in the previous years, such as Van Persie, Nasri, Clichy, players like this leaving, I really feel that even though the fact that there was such a outrage last year, the fact that this year that Wenger signed the new deal, I reckon the main priority for him was to keep Sanchez. No matter what happens in the transfer window, with the additions of Lacazette and Kolasinac, his main thing will be to keep Sanchez because he knows if if he lets go of Sanchez, especially to a team like Man City or something, he's basically just tarnished his legacy that he had at Arsenal. So I reckon that really hope that doesn't happen. But I reckon Wenger's got this one, and I don't think Sanchez will be gone.
If it does your predictions change?
If it does, then yeah, predictions will clearly change. If Sanchez was to leave us, I think we'd finish sixth, maybe even seventh, if Sanchez was to go.
I think he's very influential. But one thing I was thinking of the other day, right, before we go, um, if you look at previous years, we've sold Nasri, Van Persie, likes of them, Fabregas, because we are paying for a stadium, we are paying for the
Yeah.
Emirates then. But now that the Emirates has been paid off,
Mm.
I think Arsene Wenger can afford to lose Sanchez on a free next year because
Mm.
if he couldn't lose Sanchez on a free, and I think Sanchez would have been long gone by now. They would have taken 40, 50 million because he's last year of his contract.
Yeah.
That's the only positive thing I can think about. To be fair,
But if Sanchez was to go on a free next year, potentially that's obviously going to be a lot of money that we've lost out on. Do you reckon Sanchez? We know he gives it his all every game, but do you reckon that this season will put in even though we say it every season? Do you reckon this year will be a year that we'll actually put in a proper title challenge, not just until December time, but until late March, late April time? We'll still be there.
at this moment in time, no. But like I said, if we sign a centre mid, if we sign what's his name, Van Dijk, then I think
Mm.
we've got a real chance because if our back three's holding Koscielny and Mustafi, for example, if they get injured, who do we have to fall back on? Gabriel,
Mm.
Mertesacker, they can't do it in the Premier League anymore. They passed it. Gabriel's not good enough anyway. Mertesacker's passed it now, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Been another.
yeah.
It's been an interesting debate between the two of us.
One last,
But yeah,
one
it's only
last.
4 days gone.
If you look at our fixture list normally, in March and April is our hardest fixtures.
Yeah.
This time in March, we've got Brighton, Watford, Leicester, and Stoke. So March should be easily 3 wins out of 4 at least, because we should be beating Brighton, should beat Watford at home. Leicester away is always a tough one, but it's always a good day out. And Stoke at home, Stoke away, as in when they play away, they're not very good. So who knows? But I still think
Yeah.
we need some
The
signings.
main question is if we can get these games out of the way and not get hammered in the big away games or the big grounds. And even if we take a point at a few of them, maybe take take a point at not. We need to be taking 3 points against Stoke, Leicester, and even if we were to take a
Well,
point at Anfield, it wouldn't be the end of the
yeah,
world.
it would. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. But think about it. Stoke away, we struggle. Liverpool away, we always struggle as well. And if we
Yeah.
lose both of them games, that's it. We're already on the back foot. And
Yeah.
then,
And
and
then
then think
soon
about
after
it.
we got
Think
Chelsea.
about it, right? Liverpool is on 27th of August, and the transfer window ain't shut by then. If we've lost the first 2 out of 3 games, that's it. I think Sanchez will leave because he knows already that we
Mm.
what 6 or 9 points behind the leaders.
Yeah.
It's
It's gonna
gonna
be
be
a tough
really,
one. We
really.
need to get off to a good start. That's the
I
main
think
thing. Get
Wenger needs to, he needs to adapt his formations according to which game it is. Before it was 4-2-3-1 every single game, right? Now at the moment, this new formation is looking good. But if you don't sign a centre back and we're playing Monreal centre back or somebody like that who's good on the left wing, who's good at left back, and I think we'll struggle against the big teams. But
All
this
right.
changes formations, I think.
And one final thing I'm going to introduce from today. I'm going to be doing a score prediction for the weekend's games, and we'll see who gets the closest. No prize or anything, just to see like just a prediction for each week. So I'm just getting the fixtures up for this weekend. All right, so I'd like a. Give me your score for Arsenal versus Leicester.
I don't want to sound controversial, man. 2-1 last minute. We're gonna win.
2-1. Okay. Then on Saturday, Watford Liverpool.
You know what? Normally I'd go a draw 1-1, right? But I think Liverpool are gonna win 3-0,
Yeah, Chelsea Burnley.
4-0.
Palace Huddersfield.
Ooh, I think it'll be a draw. That 2-2. I'm going because Huddersfield have just
Everton
come up.
Everton Stoke.
I'm going for a 2-1 Stoke.
Southampton Swansea.
It's got 0-0 written all over it.
West Brom Bournemouth.
That's another draw, 1-1.
Brighton Man City.
Brighton will take the lead, but then City will win 3-1.
And finally, Man United West Ham.
You know, no Payet there anymore, so I still think West Ham are going to win, though. I love a bit of West Ham. I'm going to
And
go.
maybe
I'm gonna go
Hernandez back at the Theatre of Nightmares.
West Ham 10, Man United 1. No, I'm joking. I think it's going to be a draw again. You know, theatre of draws.
Draw.
So I think it's going to go 1-1 draw. I think United will take the lead, and Hernandez will equalise, and then United will have about 50 chances but not score.
All right, guys. That's it for today's podcast. It's been great having this debate about the past few days and the Premier League season, which is coming up on Friday. And then when this first round fixtures are over, which will be Sunday, about 6 o'clock, there'll probably be another talk show at about 7 or 8 o'clock on.
Look forward to it.
So thanks, guys.
Thank you.